Well, if there's anything good that we could take out of tonight,
I said this was a great movie.
it's the return of our good friend Amy. I wasn't expecting to be able to see you so soon. Yeah, she was going to move to the UK, but then work visa got in the way, so she's staying here for a few extra months. But so we're taking this opportunity to share the pain, as it were.
Lucky me.
With hopefully the last, it won't be, but hopefully the last Resident Evil movie.
You know it's not gonna be.
I mean, they called it the final chapter. Of course there's going to be more.
Well, he hopes it'll be the last of this book, as it were, as far as chapters. It's
Or
the
at least
last.
you
It's the
hope.
last chapter of this book, but the next book is ready to be, or is already written. I don't know.
It's like, what other monsters is Alice going to fight next? Is it going to be like killer leprechauns?
What's left, honestly? At least for the main series, what's left for her?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, greatly looking forward to it.
Yeah, you can quit the facade now, Gabe. Troll harder, son.
Okay. It wasn't greatest. It was just pretty good.
I paid money for this movie.
You-
I regret everything.
As we were talking about it in the lobby while you were in the bathroom, we were saying that the Resident Evil movies are the candy corn of movies. You keep forgetting how bad they are every single time it comes around. Like the first Resident Evil movie, I remember my.
I'm sorry, all I can think about is the it's a comedy sketch. Crap, who is it? Louis Black, the candy corn.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, you just reminded me.
It's okay, but I remember my childhood friend Charlie, who had seen the movie before I did, and he's like, "Dude, it's so scary, man. I wasn't able to see it." And
The first Resident Evil
like the
movie?
very first Resident Evil movie.
Man.
And so I got hyped for this movie, and then I saw it, and I was like, "This is lame. You were scared by this, really? This was such a lame movie." And at least, the beginning Resident Evil movies. Excuse me.
When did the first movie come out? What year was that?
2002.
Oh wow, it was that long ago.
Yes, it was 2002, 2003. I
And
think.
Mia Jovovich has not aged a day.
That
is scary.
She's she's not a day over 20 if she's 50. It's
Right?
So much so that
Must be nice.
they had to really work to put her in old age makeup.
That was ridiculous.
It was like, God, she looks young even with the old age makeup. They had to just basically plaster her face with.
Yep.
The thing about this movie is that, okay, are we doing spoiler talk? Or...
Oh yeah, let's just. We're not gonna give a
If we
shit.
can save anyone from not paying to see this movie, just please don't go see this movie. But every single twist is just so telegraphed. And there was a moment in the movie where like they reveal someone as a traitor, and you're like, oh gee, I wonder if it's this guy. And then I remember thinking in my mind, well, no, that's just way too obvious. It's got to be a red herring. Nobody would be that stupid. Nobody would think an audience is that stupid.
Well,
Fuck me for having any faith in these writers because goddamn, there are no surprises, none.
My problem with the surprise twist.
it's a clone movie.
Of course. I mean, that's
just a time travel as far as like cliche and fucked up go nowhere plot devices.
Like,
No one's ever dead.
until they're dead, which is not for long.
The clones, man. It never ends.
Mm-hmm. And I turned around and I saw a clone. Cloney clone. But I think what pissed me off about this movie, in a long list of things that pissed me about this movie, one, it's terrible plot, but the reason why it sucks so much is that it infers a level of sophistication that it is not capable of doing.
No.
Like they're trying to segment in this mole amongst the rebels as some kind of umbrella corps mole inside the resistance, and okay, and then it's just like the movie continues on as if nothing is happening, and then finally, oh yeah, I'm the mole.
Yep. There's no like second guessing each other or anything like that.
Like there's no like double guessing.
No.
Just wholesale like, we just need a turn. So he's an umbrella. This guy's just this umbrella corps stooge. Forget who it is because all the characters are interchangeable. They're like all of these characters in these movies outside of like Wesker, and even that's debatable. But
Yeah.
outside of the,
I could have sworn Wesker was CG. For about 90% of the film, I thought it was CG.
Me too. I was.
Well, because they
I
have a
wasn't
guy,
sure.
and like, I swear it was pancake makeup, and his hair slicked back with about a pound of hair gel
Yeah, and
and
his
sunglasses.
widow's
the
peak is
entire
like
movie.
slightly off center all the time, which really annoyed me.
You're really big on
what is
symmetry,
going-
aren't you? Yeah. But I swear I thought it was CG. I thought it was, because there's so much CG in the movie, and then you have this character that looks like a fucking real doll. I really thought it was CG. I'm like, did the actor die? What's going on here? I had no idea.
I don't know.
Was that bad?
After seeing Rogue One and what they did to Grand Moff Tarkin, I can't really complain about characters looking too fake, as it were. Because when they try to make them look real, that's where it just kind of tumbles head over heels into the black void of suck. But outside of this plot, which guess what? Umbrella Corp created an antivirus because
Because of course they did.
they did, and apparently they've been sitting on it for the past 10 years. Then outside of some kind of, all right, they had this they had this antivirus for 10 years, and we're only now just hearing about it because Umbrella Corp is somehow, it's been a while since I've seen the movies. Have they established how they actually get control of the zombie horde, or is it just like carrot on a stick?
I thought it was just a carrot on a stick thing because of the whole releasing the bait and whatnot.
Exactly. So if that's the case,
But
So-
but
so
okay,
that-
but that raises further questions for me because there's a moment they're controlling hordes of these zombies, like miles upon miles of just mindless zombies, all following this one armored vehicle with just someone dangling in the back, like human bait. And I understand it for like maybe the first, I don't know, 50 yards back or so, but after that, what the fuck are the zombies following? Other zombies? Are they just seeing a line and going, yes, I better follow this?
Zombie see, zombie do.
Well, I mean, what are the zombies at the very back of the line thinking? There's no way they can smell a human. They don't know what else is going on. They can't see. They're just all shuffling in unison for no reason.
They're probably thinking, well, we're gonna share. We're all gonna share that one human, right?
Amongst all 100,000 of us.
I mean,
There's enough for all of us.
like the logical fallacies in this movie are just staggering.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why am I trying to dictate logic in a fucking Resident Evil movie? It can't be done.
It can't be done, but what it can do is ask these very, very simple questions. They have this ticking clock plot point in this story that
Oh,
makes no
God.
goddamn sense because they're saying that the last human investments in the world are going to be attacked by Umbrella forces, and they're going to attack. Either they're going to attack them or they're going to wipe them out in about 48 hours. Like, how can you be that specific?
Not just that, I did not think a movie could make the entire human race into a MacGuffin. But apparently I've been living a lie. And yeah, you're right. I remember thinking, like, how... That's so dumb. Oh, and of course, they stop the timer, like, seconds before it's meant to go off. And it's just like, well, what does that mean? There's just one dude left standing now?
Or like, hey, maybe we shouldn't attack them. We had 2 seconds to do this, and then, I guess we don't attack them.
Well, as far as the probability thing goes, as far as being so sure, actually, yeah, I totally believe it. Because they have a probability contact lens that helps them to make these decisions.
No,
yeah.
not the umbrella, not just any umbrella soldier. They got to be up on the umbrella chain to have them.
Yeah, but he communicates to them all, doesn't he?
Not,
I don't
Well,
think
not
he does.
specific. Well, okay, not directly, I
I
guess.
don't know.
but-
They didn't really specify. They don't specify anything. Everything... This is really the most because movie I've ever seen. Things just pop up and they're like, why is it happening? Oh, just because movie.
and you want to talk about because movie moments. 2 things. 1, Alice gets tell of the antivirus because the evil AI turned.
The Red Queen.
The Red Queen had
Yeah.
a face turn, and just decided, I guess.
I don't know her.
They had a face
Because
turn.
movie.
Yeah, like it had a face turn and just said like, all right, I'm going to be on Alice's side because this John Hurt wannabe, rest in peace, by the way.
Oh God, you had to go there.
And the John Hurt wannabe, is being an asshole. Rest in peace. But as I said,
Well, to be fair, he's a good actor.
he's a good actor, but in a terrible movie, and all I'm saying is John Hurt would have been able to rise above it.
No, I'm not saying John Hurt. I'm not like, to be fair, John Hurt's a good. This guy, I can't remember the Game of Thrones guy.
Which Game of Thrones guy?
Are we talking about the main?
Yeah, the
villain?
main- yeah, main villain.
He's
Yeah,
in Game
the-
of Thrones. I can't
what the-
remember the name, but the
What is it?
Targaryen.
The stone scale guy.
Yeah.
Stone Scale.
Stone scale, yeah.
He's with Khaleesi. He's
Yeah.
her.
Oh
her
yes.
left hand man.
How
can I
for-
Yeah.
Oh yeah, her. God, there's like 1.5 billion characters in that
Yeah,
franchise.
Um,
but-
and now I'm
but
angry
he's a
that I
pretty
forgot his
prominent
name.
one,
Mm.
In the comments, they're gonna be like, "It's this guy."
Yeah, of course.
God,
of
fails.
course.
Like,
fails Game of
No matter
Thrones
like,
right now.
well, to be fair, like if you know any actor from Game of Thrones, you only know them by their character name, not by the
Yeah.
actor's name. Because
True.
I mean, exactly. Like
Yeah.
we love that guy in John Wick, who was the bad guy, who was like the son of the bad guy, but we only know him as Greyjoy.
Honestly, I haven't been keeping up with Game of Thrones for a while
No,
now.
neither have I. I don't
Yeah.
really have. I haven't had a TV in what?
Yeah, not out of
3 months
choice,
Mm.
just out of.
Oh, all my stuff is gone. Like I don't have cable.
But that's
Moving comics.
It's not on Hulu, so.
yeah. But so Alice is trucking to Raccoon City because of course that's where the antivirus is. Then all of a sudden, Spike Trap, she skids out of control, and then she sees this sees this Umbrella Corp bike manufactured by BMW. That's important.
Umbrella Davidson. I don't know.
And so she sees it, just forgets self-preservation, and just says, "All right." And then she gets trapped. She gets her ass caught in a bear trap. But of course she manages to escape from it. But even then, she still gets electrocuted off the bike. So I guess
In a
what's the-
hilarious scene. Jesus.
What is the goddamn point of springing that trap if all you're going to do is wait for her to put the thumbprint on, and then it's going to zap her, and that's when we bag her.
Bennett. Because movie.
Of course. But similarly,
Are you going where I think you're going?
I
hope so.
Later in the movie, when they actually get to the Umbrella Corp headquarters, during that long hallway where where the laser grid is, which of course is still functioning even after 10 years of disrepair, there is just a cache of weapons, just a fresh duffel bag of weapons waiting for him.
You know what? For a second, I thought there was a shred of competence, which was my mistake. Where I thought they were kind of doing an homage to the original games where you'd find a safe room with that music playing, that you'd find a cache or a save point and weapons and whatever and like green herbs. But no, it was just because movie. Backpacks, entire backpacks
Yeah.
full of ammunition.
Like my first thought was like, okay, maybe that's a leftover duffel bag from their original excursion into the mansion, I guess. But that would be
No, because
She
it
seems
looked
so-
brand new.
yeah, it looked brand new.
She seemed pretty confident about what was in it, though.
Yeah,
She
exactly.
just was like,
Of course
oh,
not a grenade
there's
or
a
a
duffel bag.
tractor
I know
there.
what's in that. Here you go. Throw.
It's like, considering that these movies are predicated upon making Mila Jovovich look as badass and Jesus-y as possible, they really write her as the dumbest bitch
I think
sometimes.
it's Jovovich. Is it Jovovich or?
I've heard of
I think
Jovovich.
it's Mia
Jo-
Jovovich. Yeah.
Mila Jovovich.
That was Mia Jovovich.
Mia, oh God, like, talk about one actress that everyone knows, but nobody knows how to pronounce her name.
Lilu Das Multipass.
Wrong act. Oh no, it is the correct actress.
She'll always be just Lilu.
Lilu.
Always.
God damn.
Best movie ever.
Definitely.
Best movie ever.
Yeah,
You're just the worst.
definitely.
You're not being very
I
green
know.
right now, Bennett. It's very ungreen.
Negative. I am a meat popsicle.
There we go. The quotes are there now.
We ain't on fire. We ain't got no fire.
I want those stones.
If only they could capture the camp and glory of the element, but they can't
Yeah.
do it. They can't do it. Like the writers are just, you have to try to write a movie that bad. Like there were some parts that were legitimately entertaining, like laugh out loud, terrible, but not enough of them to make it worthwhile. And the rest of it, the editing was bad.
oh,
The writing, the dialogue was atrocious, and not
Okay.
in a good way.
From watching this movie, I now know that there is a person walking on the face of this earth
Ah,
named Doobie White. He's the motherfucker that not only shares the last name with me, but also edited and sound designed this piece of fucking shit.
spell W-H-I-T.
W-H-I-T.
A proud member of the White family.
Doobie.
Doobie,
Doobie.
Doobie White.
Get on 23andMe and find him.
Doobie White. As your landsman, I must infer to you that when you're doing a shock surprise and you need to have a loud piercing sound to jar the audience. Must you do it 30 times in one movie?
It's. Were you actually counting?
I counted.
He was
Like actually
counting.
30. Zero. That was.
They're
okay.
30.
Why did you do that to yourself?
Because that was the only way I could get myself invested in
You
this
gotta
movie.
entertain yourself somehow during this movie because it's not gonna entertain you.
I didn't feel like it was like entirely not entertaining because there were moments here and there. At least it wasn't like dragging. It certainly didn't drag its feet.
I don't know. I kept yawning, despite the fact that they throw action. There is not a single moment of rest in this movie. It's all just Michael Bay style. Everything's moving. Everything's exploding. Everything, and I was bored to tears.
Well, that's because it does follow Michael Bay logic as far as action choreography. Everything is happening so fast, and you're whipping the camera around so much, and the edits are happening like that. Your only response to that is just shut off your brain, don't even try to follow it, and now you're just seeing gray pixels just undulate on screen. And
I can't even enjoy it as a popcorn flick though, just because of the fact that it's. I just found it incredibly dull with all the explosions and everything. It doesn't get even Michael Bay knows that you got to get a breather in there somewhere through dialogue scenes or whatever. But this one, no, constant start to finish, just nothing ever stops.
Paul W.S. Anderson has always been the poor man's Michael Bay, ever since
That's true.
I mean, that's just actually no. Poor man's Michael Bay was Mick G. Remember Mick G?
Oh my God, does he still have a career? And if so, why?
Mick G. He directed.
Was it McG or McGee?
I always heard as Mick G. He had this exact same directorial track record as Michael Bay. He directed music videos for like the '90s. Then he broke into then he broke into Hollywood by directing like Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, well, that was his first. Yeah. And then he did something else that was terrible, but I don't remember what it was because it was really forgettable.
But
I see where you're going.
Yeah. But my point here is that right, W.S. Anderson is just kind of like he tries to sound like he is, just really passionate about directing his wife and looking like, this is what I'm fucking. See how awesome she is? My dick goes inside that.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
And I guess from a man perspective, why wouldn't you want to show off your wife to other men? It's like, see, look at this.
I'd hit it.
But
I love how you motioned to me. It's like I'm like, well,
no to me.
Hey, nudge, wink, say no more. But that does not exactly make for a good movie. However, when the movie is at its best, it is when it is being unapologetically cheesy, and there is not enough moments like that in this movie. There's not
nearly enough.
Not nearly enough. It's not like in Resident Evil. Was it the 5th movie where they had that final battle with Wesker, and it just ends up with fucking Alice just punching a hole right through Wesker's head, and there's like his mouth is just like this black space right in.
Actually, I haven't seen any of these movies except for the first one. And one is all you need. So I went into this completely blind. So I had no expectations at all, and I'm still disappointed.
Oh man.
So I didn't.
That's right.
I don't know. Like I knew the basic plot lines of the other movies, and they had.
Alice was cloned.
I kind of forgot that you only saw the actual Resident Evil film.
But it's okay if you don't see any other ones because like the first 10 minutes is nothing but exposition. Nothing but exposition in the worst, laziest way.
Actually, I was wondering about that. What is the context of her talking to what is ostensibly the audience? What is the context of that? Is she just talking to some automated program that just exists in no space?
Because the writers assume that we're idiots. And so, of course, Alice is breaking the fourth wall and talking to the audience directly, explaining the entire freaking history of all of the damn movies, because movie.
Oh, and they actually did have Mila Jovovich, or Jovovich, whichever we go with. Mila was in the beginning with the other guy, the director, I guess, or whatever. Who the hell was that with her? I don't know.
Oh, that's right. Was that part of the previews though, or actual? I don't.
It was like
I really don't remember.
It was just one of those pre-film things where they, sometimes like in Apocalypse, X-Men Apocalypse, where they come out and say like, "Thank you for." Endorsing the.
Oh yeah,
like thank you for all you proud viewers who have watched every single one of the series of Resident Evil movies.
Basically, it's
looking directly at Amy.
It's like it's a. Yeah,
well,
like what they did, they really opened the movie with the same way they opened X-Men Apocalypse, was that they have, well, in X-Men Apocalypse they had the actress playing Storm go up to the camera saying, "Hi, I'm an actress. Thank you for not pirating this shit out of this movie. Thank you." And then she's blinking in Morse code, "Help me."
So could we just determine that whenever this happens before a film, it just means it's going to be a garbage film. It's going to be crap.
I think so.
If they come out and they're like, "Thank you so much for
Well, it's funny because I'm
paying for
reminded
this
of
film."
another Mia Millipede debacle movie, The Fourth
Millipede?
Kind, where the same thing where it starts with just the cast just talking into the camera, including her, and that was a freaking garbage movie.
Yeah.
It's
So
not
you're in for a good time when you see that those two people talking directly to you.
the basic setup rather portends of ill omens. It's so all right. Like, is there anything else in this movie that really jumps out at you that we haven't yet covered? Because
Jumps.
yeah, but
Well-
oh yeah. Like, I wanted to continue this thought of like the junk parts of this movie that were entertaining were basically within the same realm of Triple X, in that it's just unbelievable action stunts that were made. The few times when W.S. Anderson manages to pull the camera back and saying, "Okay, we need to have this wide shot." So that way we could see Alice run a motorcycle through a flaming explosion, even though it's like this 2,000-degree explosion around her.
And her hair is perfect.
Her hair is perfect.
Eyes open.
And she's not going like, "Ow, ow, 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 ow." None of that. No, she's just looking through the flames like, yeah. And that way, I swear, Mila, I don't know how Mila does this, but she has like this autopilot when it comes to acting, where she kind of talks like this, and she always has that same look, like, "We got to do this right now," and it's like this stern monotone, and then every time she has to make a little wisecrack. But she does it like she's telling like one of her employees that they have to stay over the weekend. It's like, "You're gonna have to do this." It's like,
If you could just stay for Saturday and Sunday, that'd be great. Don't you remember the TPS reports?
Nice.
Like
That
it-
was actually a really good impression.
actually, yes. When the doctor says like, "I should have no, it was Wesker says like, "I should have killed you in New York." Yeah, you should.
That was a mistake.
That was. Which, I don't know. Like, if you're like going through the Rolodex of like typical female responses, like, would you rather have like the cold-hearted bitch or like the bitch who is getting angry at the waitress at the Olive Garden? It's like, "I want the fettuccine Alfredo."
Why are you looking at me?
I'm looking for an opinion. Like,
I've never been to Olive Garden.
What, you've never been to?
I've never been to Olive Garden.
but
Why is this a surprise? Is that a thing?
Actually, I
Is
don't
it
even
just
know
like-
where you're
is it-
going with this.
What I'm-
particular-
Are women supposed to go to Olive Garden?
No, where I'm going with this is the deliver. What I'm going
thinks all women go to Olive Garden.
where I'm going
Gotta
with
get our breadsticks.
where I'm going with this is that either like there's two types of deliveries here. There's the flat monotone with no life to it whatsoever, or the over enunciating, really da 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 kind of delivery. Which extreme would you prefer?
So I guess taking a line from Lindsay here, it's the John Malkovich at
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
ordering food.
Malkovich makes over enunciating really work.
We have to do this.
I saw Aragon, and unfortunately, I remember that. I want my stone. I'm sitting there going, "Yeah, well, Johnny, I want to be stoned. How about that?" That is one thing I regret. If you are going to go see this movie, do not see it sober. I could see it being hilarious if you bring a flask in or something.
I don't know too many movies where the movie is not made better by being on some kind of
At the
substance.
very least, it might slow down time enough so that, like, the chaotic editing at least makes sense to you. Because otherwise, you're just gonna get a headache. Like, my head still hurts. I think it's just the glasses thing, but the flashing lights, the loud noises every 30 seconds, the
Soundtrack.
soundtrack. It really is a shame, because I think this could have been a campy good time, but I cannot for the life of me remember one line from this movie correctly, because we're quoting Fifth Element like it's no business, and that is not a good movie objectively.
Oh, no, it's
but
not.
god damn, it's entertaining. It doesn't, it tries to have everything and fails. It accomplishes nothing.
Oh yeah, but I do remember particular scenes when it does get into the cheesy action. Like, how about like where they homage the end of Hunchback of Notre Dame, and they have these gigantic flaming lakes pouring into burn the zombie.
Oh my god,
yeah,
yes,
the
that
gasoline
was
pit.
so ridiculous. Oh my
That was-
god. How did they do that?
Like, how did they get so much burning hellfire from these little tiny gasoline barrels?
It was, yeah.
Because
it's
movie.
like Iron
Bennett,
Forge
because
times
movie.
11.
Yeah, it's like fucking Iron Forge or like the end of
Oh,
Hunchback of Notre
man.
Dame.
I miss Vanilla WoW.
Uh,
Don't you?
Oh, yeah.
I miss the shit out of Vanilla
When did you-
WoW.
I
When
wish
did-
I'd stopped with vanilla.
when did you stop?
Kata.
Cat it?
Kata was my last expansion.
Uh,
I was like, fuck this.
Burning Legion. Right here.
Really?
Yeah, I got out of the game early.
What?
Yeah.
That was the good one.
Yeah, it was.
I helped make that one.
Oh, you did.
Yes.
Drop.
Yeah.
You hear that, nerds? She helped make Burning Legion.
I peaked at 25. Everything past that is just downhill. So I gotta take what I can get. Damn it.
I guess I'm the loser here because I stopped with Return of the Lich King or
Wrath of the Lich
Wrath
King.
of
That
Lich
one,
King,
yeah, that
yeah.
one was. That one was very. It had pretty good dungeons. I remember liking Sunwell, and then.
But Resident Evil is such a nothing movie. We're now talking about World of Warcraft.
It's a vastly superior conversation.
I suppose so. Like, when did you get out of the game? Well, to put a little kibosh on this conversation,
Yeah.
Street, I will end it with saying that if it were up to me directly, I probably would have gone back to Burning Legion because I remember liking it enough. But it just got to the point where like I had to keep up with level 70 raids. This was back when they still had 40 man, and that was.
Yeah. It was brutal. Like, this is back when I was still super hardcore back then. So for me, it wasn't a big deal, but I can totally see, yeah, like, I was all about getting the server first, but most people would just stand outside going, have fun, guys. I will never ever achieve this.
I got pretty pissed off when I finally got like the best of vanilla WoW you could get tier armor for my warlock, and it was like okay, now the expansion's out. And it was like I go to the new area. It's like I kill like a dog or something, and I pick up this green item, and it's better than anything I have. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, I never bothered getting, I mean, I was still in Cenarian, I think, when Burning Crusade came out. And then just the greens were like, oh, hot damn.
yeah, and that was just I had to actually quit for a little while after that. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I think I stopped raiding because I got pretty good Karazhan gear, and after that I was just kind of like, then I was having trouble because my guild disbanded.
Yeah.
We're still talking about
We're
this.
still talking about this.
We really don't want to talk about this movie.
But yeah, I know. Like,
It's it. Yeah.
but can I say that? All right, during the days leading up to this movie, I was talking to my friend Mark, and he's saying, "Oh wow, Resident Evil's coming out." He's like, "What, the movie?" It's like, "Yes, the movie, but also the game." And he does this. What? Like, there's another Resident Evil game coming out? He's like, yeah, sure. It's
You
like,
didn't know about 7?
like he didn't know about 7, and then I keep listing these things off, like, oh, dude, I want to pick that up, and then it's like,
You want to pick that up.
and then I
You
kept.
really want to pick that up.
Then I list off all the things about it. It's like, so who's in the game? It's like, oh, it's a new guy. What? No Leon? No Chris? No. It's like, no, it's a.
After 6, why would you want Leon? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
sorry.
like
It's-
anyone who remembers my vlog about Resident Evil 6 knows that Resident Evil 6 broke my heart. It near as makes no difference. That was the one game that I nearly went betrayal on.
After 5, it was no shock to me that was the direction they were going. But 7 did really turn it around. Oh my god.
But then he's like, okay, then all right, is it co-op? It's like, no, it's not co-op.
No.
Fuck. And then he's like, so no Leon, no Chris, just this new fucktard, and it's no co-op. It's like, oh, it's first person. What? Just like, this is like a laundry list of things that I hate.
You know what? I normally hate first person too, but Seriously, don't knock until you try it.
Wait, was 6 the like really military one?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that was like the shooter.
That was the Call of
The
straight
that,
up, yeah.
that was Call of Duty.
Like,
but
I never got to play really any of the Resident Evil
was
games.
horrible.
Yeah,
But I got just kind of somehow I got somebody was playing it and I started playing it. I was really not enjoying it, to be honest.
Yeah, like the problem with the biggest problem with that movie is that it was a co-op game. But if you were playing by yourself, your co-op partner was immortal, so the game pretty much plays itself
Yeah.
Oh.
because you didn't need to waste ammo trying
Well,
to make.
except the AI was shit.
The AI was shit as well, but the fact of the matter is that the AI was shit, so they had to make him immortal, which they didn't do with Resident Evil 5, so therefore there was merit. There was like weight that you had to keep Sheba Alamar alive as Chris, because if she dies, you die. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, I get that. It basically turns the game into an escort mission, but at least it has, weight. In Resident Evil 6, it doesn't give a...
4.
Didn't... Well, at least... At the very least, Ashley in 4 didn't, purposely run into trouble because she thought she had a pistol.
Yeah.
If you were smart enough to like, hey, Ashley, get into the fucking...
Get in the bin.
Just get in the bin and stay
Bin
in the bin.
Lisa and I were talking about, something Resident Evil, right?
Yeah.
May not be the movie, but it's Resident Evil.
Yeah, you know what?
I love the fact that I love the fact that they put a suit of armor in Resident Evil 4 because everyone kept shooting Ashley, and when you put her in the suit of armor, she's bulletproof.
Well, now I'm curious if I really don't know the relationship that Capcom has with whatever studio is making these Resident Evil movies.
Constantine Film.
I don't know what relationship they have with Capcom.
Um,
But I don't know if the timing of this was intentional to line up with 7. I don't know.
it's entirely possible. I mean...
It seems a bit too convenient, but at the same time, what's the point? Because they're just so diametrically
I guess,
different.
I think the point was that just to have Resident Evil on the brains of the public. I mean, if you're looking up Resident Evil, the movie, and then you find out that there's a video game, then it's like, oh, okay, and vice versa.
Yeah, but it's such a shit movie that you'd see it and go, well, I want to play the game if it's going to be like this. And likewise, if you look at 7 first and then go, I want to watch this movie, and it's nothing like that, you're going to feel betrayed and then just...
Well, Capcom doesn't care. They already got your money.
Fair point.
Is it really sad of me to think and be right about the fact that the Resident Evil movie franchise is the most successful video game movie franchise in history?
That's sad. Oof.
I mean,
so sad.
there are 6 or nearest makes no difference. Actually, there is 7 Resident Evil movies. 7. Saw didn't have that many movies.
That's way...
I'm really thinking now. I'm really trying to think video game movies.
Like Nightmare on Elm Street. How many Nightmare on Elm Street movies were there? I think there was only like 6, counting the Platinum Dunes fuck up. I think there. Not even.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. They got 7 movies out of this.
Didn't Silent Hill 1 make a decent amount of change, though?
Yeah, but it didn't have. It's not like 7 movie anthology worth of.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can't really judge quality or success by number. I mean, just look at the Day in Line Before Time sequels.
Yeah, but those kind of recoup the cost. This wasn't a major Hollywood release.
I'm surprised this got a theater release, because it screams straight to DVD to me.
Well, the plot did, but, outside of a few laughably awful CG shots, this would probably be the most expensive movie ever to be put straight to DVD.
Yeah, that's true.
What was the budget, do you know?
40, I think, $40 or $50 million.
Jesus, Hollywood has way too much money.
They filmed in South Africa, and they probably got a
Oh,
bunch
boy.
of tax rebates. Probably had a film commission with Canada and Germany. Hence why it's
always Canada.
Canada and also Germany, because like I said, Constantine Film is headquartered in Germany.
I did not know that. I learned something today.
Mm-hmm.
Valuable information.
Well, I love Constantine Film because they're the people that made that actually commissioned for the Ashcan copy of the Fantastic Four movie, the one that never came out.
I like them already.
So Constantine Film just threw together $2 million, gave it to Roger Corman, and say, look, we need the rights to the Fantastic Four. We can't gather up the money to make a full budgeted movie.
I still think that's the best Fantastic Four movie to come out so far. It was the Corman version.
Yeah.
I really do.
Well, it didn't have Miles Teller in it, so it can't be the worst.
God damn it, Bennett. Ah.
We didn't see that one.
Yeah. Like I think I could say for everyone that Resident Evil is not a great movie, but if
It doesn't have Miles Teller in it?
but it doesn't. but my
2 thumbs up. Milestone.
but my real question is, I knew it was going to be a bad movie. And in some ways it was worse than I expected. But is it really terrible? Like you said that you can't be angry at the movie.
Yes.
Well,
I can't be angry at the movie because it was, I mean, as you said, you know what you're getting into.
Like,
even with it being the candy corn of, films. You know what, in that way, it's not really candy corn, is it? If you don't... if you know it's bad and you still go to it.
It's bad, but it's inoffensively bad.
It's dumb.
That
I
makes
think it's too dumb for it to be fucking abysmal. Because if you're that dumb, when you're really that dumb, it becomes an issue of like, you really just don't know any better, do you?
Yeah.
I mean, like the fact that they didn't even bother to attempt to write around the fact that they had this duffel bag full of weapons waiting for them, pristine and mint condition.
No. Everything, it's just a movie of coincidences. Everything just keeps happening at once. At once. Everything just boom, 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 boom.
Like
it never ends.
And in that way, it feels like a child wrote it.
It kind of does.
It's just, I've seen so much worse. I think that's just what it comes down to. And I am a huge Mila Jovovich. God dang it. I'm just going to stop saying the name until we figure out how to actually pronounce it.
She said it in the very beginning of the movie, too, and I
know.
still won't remember.
Mila,
That's
I'm a
how
huge
little
fan of
this
her.
thing had an impact on me.
Like, you're such a huge fan of her that you don't know how to
I
pronounce her
thought
name.
she said Mia
Yeah.
Jovovich.
Yeah, Jovovich.
Or Jovovich.
Jovovich. But, like, the question then becomes, like, does she even speak Polish? So, like, would she even know how to pronounce her own name? Like, how many Polish Americans have a Polish, really, really hard Polish names, but don't speak
I
Polish?
did just learn how to correctly pronounce Jake Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal, huh?
Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal, huh?
I love that.
Gyllenhaal.
It's more fun to say than Hubert Cumberbatch.
Hubert Cumberbatch? Who's Hubert Cumberbatch?
Ah, fuck. I just call him Cucumber and get it over with.
So, I know what happened. You were thinking salad fingers, and you were like Hubert Cumberbatch.
Yes, Cumberdale. That's right.
Hubert Cumberdale.
Oh.
And then
I just rewatched the whole David Firth thing on YouTube. I wanted to binge a David Firth binge.
So
I don't recommend it.
there we go. I found the method to the madness there, but to continue this line of discussion, I hate this film. I know I hate this film because it annoyed me so greatly, but the instances of annoyance and hatred are fleeting. It's just like, again with the fucking like loud scare, like quiet loud.
Yeah.
Well,
Every single quiet moment there's a jump scare following within like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Sometimes in rapid succession. Like I said, 30 in like a 100-minute movie.
Yeah, and I know you were kind of making fun of me because the first couple I jumped because I'm a neurotic mess and I am so easy to startle. But even after like the fifth one, it didn't affect me because it was just I got so bored. Every jump scare was just okay. I'm gonna see this again in about 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm. So
if you can put a beat to the jump scares.
I think they did at one point. They literally had an action scene where the impacts of each punch and kick and action scene was actually lined up to the drum beat of the backing music. It was amazing.
If you can call it music.
Or what it tries
Not
to pass
the same
off.
way they did the
Facsimile
trailer
thereof
with
of
Paradise
background
City.
music.
Yeah.
But yeah, this film I couldn't be angry at because it was at least mildly entertaining.
At points.
Yeah, and
It was fun to make fun of the ridiculousness.
there were some funny moments that you make fun of.
Yeah, I mean, from that perspective, I can't really come hard down like a guillotine blade on it. But that's sort of like that gradient of shit.
Mm-hmm.
The gradient of shit is just by mentioning these good parts of this movie, or at least enjoyable parts of this movie, does that by no mean absolve the rest of the movie for what it actually for the majority of it? Doesn't mean like it's not hatred, but it's not pure hatred. It's like it's
It's just indifference.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call it indifference. You know what it is? It's
I
like
would.
when
For
you
me it is.
like if you're falling asleep and then your asshole friend just comes up from behind you while you're sleeping and then just like jabs you really hard in the chest and you wake up and just like fucking, what the fuck? And then you're just like you're so tired you go back to sleep. That's what this movie is like. Just like
It's like a friend jabbing you in the chest.
Who's that? Who's like, you're confused, you're angry, you're violent, and you hate everyone and everything. And oh,
I think I just
but then
enjoyed
it
finally.
and then it passes, and then you're just like, oh.
I think I just, enjoyed finally having a movie that I didn't just entirely hate, and I could enjoy you hating.
Now, you said you've seen all the other movies.
Yeah, I'm on record of saying this, yes.
Well, so then I have a question for you, because all the random coincidences and character revelations they kept throwing at you, did they hint to any of those? Because it felt like it was thrown out of nowhere. Like when Wesker is alive again, for no reason. Or when the Doctor is alive again, for no reason. And he's like, oh, it was a clone!
Well, they kind of explained the Doctor, at least. Wesker, on the other hand.
In previous films?
Like
this one they kind of did.
Like in Wesker,
not really.
Like I don't think we've seen Wesker since 5 because he bit the bullet in 5, and then
So then where the fuck did he come from?
Clones.
clone. I mean, like
He's probably the original one.
But they never explain. He's an afterthought in this movie. I think he's in it for maybe 5 minutes total screen time.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be the big bad, because the guy who played the big bad, I thought it didn't make a lot of sense. Just an old dude, and then all of a sudden you hear about clones. And then you discover that the real guy was in frozen storage. And then it becomes like this hilarious game of, wait, you killed my clone, but I'm not a clone. You're the clone. Just, no!
It's not me, it's you! You are me!
That's not true. That's impossible.
no, you're you and I am me, but that's not true. Watch.
I mean, I really,
I am you.
at a certain point, don't they just kind of not get surprised anymore when they find out that they're not the real one?
What I found so funny is that both times they pull the whole clone panic twice, and both times the characters get over it within 2 seconds.
Well, there's
That, and then just punch.
That's kind of what I'm saying is that it kind of makes sense when you're in this world filled with clones. Eventually, you're just I've seen so many people.
The second one, when the clone Doctor ended up coming across the normal Doctor, first off, we just keep cutting back to him, almost like it's a second film. And when they finally meet, they talk for about 10 seconds, and then one guy stabs the other, and it's done. You build this entire thing, you think it's going to be this weird clone saga, or a clone fight, for the climax. But
Attack of the Clones, Resident Evil, yeah.
But it lasts all of 10 seconds, and then it's just done.
My questions regarding that is just like in the beginning when they had that knife fight on top of the moving armored vehicle and Mila cuts off his hand to use it to activate a motorcycle. Why does she just kill him then?
I'm assuming because she had places to be. Bitch had a time limit.
Yeah, so cut off his hand and then an extra second to go for the throat while he's and you have an opening.
Okay. Another confusing thing though is that in an earlier scene you see his hand beginning to grow back.
Or
and it must have hurt like a bitch because he's screaming. You see this moving lump. Was that ever shown? Because I know the T-virus does some fucked up things. Although it never seems to affect.
I remember later on he has both
for
his
some
hands.
So but then they put on this weird plastic over his hand. And...
Yeah, it makes no sense. They don't explain anything. Yeah. Which is funny for a movie that spends the first 10% of it just giving you nothing but exposition. They explain nothing. And that really did get to me. It was just getting ridiculous. Past the point of making fun of it to just come on, just get it over with.
How much of the T-virus did they have? If they can heal limbs and stuff, but they can't do the tentacle-y.
I have no idea. Why? Okay, I love this plot point in movies because it's so terrible. If you intentionally spark the apocalypse, why would you make an antidote? It's so cliche that it's to the point where what was it? I hate to say it, even Sonic the fucking Hedgehog did this better. There's an episode of Sonic Boom where Dr. Eggman makes a doomsday machine. Why would you make an off switch for a doomsday machine? Because it's so cliche. Even Sonic the fucking Hedgehog has subverted it. And it's just in here, sure enough, doomsday device, antidote. Just sitting there. Never mentioned before. Plot point now. to help heal the strangely specific time limit on humankind.
I mean, it could be that they needed it just in case one of them accidentally got like infected with it. I suppose. Just a failsafe.
Then why only have one vial?
That is pretty dumb, unless it was just one guy like had a secret. He's like, I'm going to keep this one vial because I don't.
Well,
Just in case.
he
Movie.
and
It's like turns out everybody had a secret. Like they all had
They
a secret
all had
vial.
secrets.
Well, like, wait, you
they
had
all
one
had
too?
they all had secrets. Like there was the guy, there was the spy person who was the boyfriend of
Claire.
Claire.
Yeah.
And again, it's so obvious, and shame on me for giving this movie credit and thinking this has to be a red herring because it's just that damn obvious. But then there's Alice with the whole clone thing, and the clones keeping their cloneness from each other secret, and the vial being secret, and the Red Queen keeping secrets from everybody. And then all of a sudden, here comes Alicia, out of nowhere, just a decrepit old, Mia makeup thing in a wheelchair, and it's just like, oh, she comes out of nowhere. When did she upload the file that made the Red Queen flip her shit and turn on the corporation? Never explained. If she was in frozen stasis this whole time, when did she upload it? And if it was before they went into stasis, before the outbreak, who was around to upload the file and make the Red Queen flip sides? Because she sure as shit didn't before.
That again.
So many questions.
Yeah.
Again, so many goddamn questions.
And I love how in the end, after the hive has been blown up, I guess the remnants of the Umbrella Corporation is all blown up. All the frozen people, stasis, dead. We don't know how much humanity has survived at this point. So if you ask me, they could have taken every viable human they could have gotten.
It's like,
But evil or no, it's like, we gotta repopulate, guys. But they had the Red Queen like this little tiny ring disc. Her entire AI, the most advanced computer ever made, is the little teeny tiny little thing.
Itty bitty living space.
phenomenal umbrella powers.
Yeah.
Tiny. Oh god, but
Not to mention keeping all the memories in a contact lens.
and the probability lens. The probability
probability
lens.
lens.
They had
No.
Go ahead.
I
You want
just-
to go
but
for it?
before the probability lens, when they go through from Alice's perspective,
Yeah.
they spend a good 5 minutes of just her looking at objects, and you flash to her mind of like the fight scene's going
Yeah.
down, how she's gonna kill this guy, and then it flashes to the guy, and you see he has a contact lens as a probability calculator of moves, and it goes through the entire fucking thing from his perspective instead.
Like they both are doing the same thing,
Why?
but he's doing it through an eye contact lens, and she's just really, really good at thinking.
See, this is how you do a recap, Sully.
Don't you get me started.
Oh yes, the recaps in this movie.
Still better
They
recaps.
assume you're so stupid though. They will repeat lines that you heard maybe 5 minutes prior.
Yeah. And we haven't even gotten to the laser grid,
Or
have we?
Or the part where Mia passes out and she keeps hearing Red Queen in her face like, you've got 48 hours. Also, why is she British? I always wonder that, even from the first, why is she British
if
when Alicia isn't British or
That
Alice
sounds smart.
or her dad?
or how about like that
Lido.
incredibly convenient trap door in the ventilation system that was just perfect size for
I was waiting for that too.
for one
Yeah.
one dude to
Yeah.
fall
Oh.
through, and then
They
just,
got a garbage chute.
they got a garbage chute
It
exactly,
goes to nowhere.
and I love this too. It's this long protracted death scene where this rando dude is just in the ventilation shaft,
Oh my God.
everything lights up, and then the panel that he's on just gives way and he falls like 15 feet. And then all of a sudden, there's a little umbrella device. Even the fucking hatch opener has to be logoed
Yeah,
with the umbrella.
everything has that damn umbrella. Everything.
Somewhere they had this garbage chute right out in the middle of nowhere, hoping that somebody would step on this
With
particular one.
multiple mechanisms and trapdoors just in
Yeah.
this one room.
And then
All
there was
they
only
did-
the one.
But they all go to different places within the facility.
Yeah, which is weird. Like, did they build this specifically just so that possible people that infiltrators would be savaged by these necrotized monsters?
But then why have different pathways? It's like if they have to take out the trash, they just send some grunt to go down, like put a tri-spike on this one tile and step back and watch it go.
Or how about when Ruby Rose
Ruby Rose, yes,
completely
she's in this
wasted
movie.
in this movie.
Completely wasted.
We were just talking about her in Triple X.
Yeah.
She goes, like, the party goes through this gigantic ventilation shaft. Albert Wesker sees them and says, okay, reverse polarity. And then all of a sudden, all of them are getting
Like
sucked
the
into
force
the
of, like
turbo.
a jet turbine,
Oh
yeah,
my
just
God.
like hanging on. If that was like, wait, why wasn't the force when I was reversing blowing them the fuck out of there?
Yeah, really.
If it could be turned on that high, exactly.
They had an Operation Condor
Nothing
scene
is
in here.
explained.
And the best part about that though is that Ruby Rose falls to her death and she gets chopped up into meat chili. And then what do? They turn it off.
Within 2 seconds
Yeah. It's like
of this supposedly heart-wrenching scene,
Like-
the power cuts out.
Wesker could easily kill you right now, but he's not.
This is like if Macaulay Culkin had access to like great technology. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
So you're
it's like it's really smart technology, but why is it being used this way?
I would just love to see like Albert Wesker bring out this gigantic fucking like a blueprint and it says Operation Ho 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 on it.
Operation Umbrella.
And then you hear
Little crayon marks,
they're like,
paint
"Do,
cans.
do, 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 do,
Boy, would that have been a
it's
different movie?
Christmas." You can mess with a lot of things, but you can't mess with Umbrella Corps. And he runs like Macaulay Culkin through the
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
And a
Get on
Happy
your
New
knees
Year.
and tell me you love me. But seriously, like, okay, so let's get to the lasers. That's what, like, probably everybody's
Yes,
waiting to hear about
in
the
theater,
lasers.
oh god, we probably drove the people behind us nuts because you and I were both like, what the fuck?
Where's the gridlock?
Where's the... We're just like,
The grid.
There's
Yeah.
no gridlock. They do the first, the second, and the third.
The
They have
third.
like the low. How low can
yeah,
you
they
go?
have the limbo, like the triple, and then the X, but then you're expecting like that waffle grid.
Yeah.
It never comes. Either time. It happens, they do the lasers twice. Twice. And the waffle grid never shows up. And I really want waffles now, wow.
But yeah, it's like, I mean, but then that brings me back to the first film of why don't they just start with the waffle grid?
Because movie.
Why do they have this James Bond training course of lasers?
Because the Matrix exists and they had to have an excuse for light effects and jumping.
Yeah.
My
Clearly.
question is, are they going to be smart enough? Are they going to be smart enough that if they do make another Resident Evil movie, that they're going to have Mila with robot fingers because she got her fingers sliced off, but then she doesn't have regenerative
They'll,
powers.
And she's
they'll
still
ex-
using the
they'll
motorcycle
explain it
time.
away. They'll say, oh, the T-virus left a remnant and then you got regenerative powers now or something. They're going to do something like that. So no, they're not smart enough. Why would you ever think the writers are smart enough to do that?
And also, wait a minute, I'm trying to remember. You know, like she got her right hand's fingers, like the fingers on her right
I thought
hand.
it was the left hand.
No, it was right hand because remember he was holding it to his right. So unless he kind of got her, unless he crossed her arm up, it would. Unless he crossed her arm up, the most
No,
likely.
it was the left hand.
If it was the left hand, because she was holding the antivirus in her right hand, so it couldn't have been that. But then that means that when he had her on the floor to hold out her hand
He
to
did
get her
it stage right because
Yeah.
she was facing.
Yeah, because she was like her back was to the camera, so it was her left hand. But I don't know what hand he was holding that hand with. If that makes any sense, probably not.
But no, because if she was facing camera, then if I was standing to your right and I grabbed your left hand to hold it up,
Well, to hold it over there wouldn't make a lot
Okay.
of sense.
Yeah, so
obviously.
I thought he had them both because it took both of his hands. That's why his that's why his pocket was exposed for her to blow him up.
Yeah, so it had to have been her left hand because otherwise, how in the world would she be able to unpin the lock, go inside his left breast pocket with his?
It was the left breast pocket.
Yeah, so it had to have been her. So it
That
had
just
to.
hit me.
Yeah, so it had to
Well,
have.
that's dumb.
So it had to have been her left hand to do it. So that means her right hand got her fingers cut off. But that can't
okay.
happen because she had full function of her hand.
Hold
Only
on.
the...
Speaking of dumb, did they ever telegraph the grenade in his pocket?
Nope.
I don't think they did. Like he just has a grenade in his pocket, and I'm thinking because I could not remember.
Oh no,
if
no, they showed
telegraphed
the
that.
how she planted it in the.
No, it showed her pulling the pin out. I don't think she put it in the.
No,
pocket.
I think they showed her really. The movie is such a blur and bad
Where the
editing
fuck
that's
did it
hard
come
to tell.
from?
I
Did it
don't
come from
know,
the magic backpack?
It had to have been
It
from the
must have
magic,
been, yeah.
magic backpack.
Magic backpack.
but
The new Deus Ex Machina, the magic backpack.
Speaking of which, how hard is it to drive a motorcycle with one hand?
If you don't have any fingers and it's your right hand, that means you don't have a throttle.
So she was using that motorcycle at the end of the movie. Just saying.
So, like, there's...
Maybe she still had the Wesker hand to just use it like an oven mitt.
Maybe she's...
Because you needed the Wesker hand, not the Wesker hand. What was the guy's name? The doctor.
The doctor, whatever. Doctor. Yeah, like...
Yeah.
So maybe she just has, like, a hand transplant. Now, no, she could put, like, a revolver ocelot, and then she takes his hand and makes it her hand. So,
yeah,
but then his personality
that means he
would
would just take her over.
Yeah, and then, like...
And then she'd go and destroy the Patriots.
Now we're just imagining a better movie.
Oh, that ending. And because you were the most human of all humans, even though you weren't human, and we thought that was pretty cool. And
Okay, all right. Here's the biggest middle finger of the movie ever throws at the audience, because all right, so Alice is led to believe that the antivirus will kill her because it will destroy all the T virus.
Yeah.
And she's made of T virus. She is made of nothing but T virus. So then she okay, I'm willing to sacrifice my life for the rest of the good of mankind. Then she breaks it open. She passes out in a laughably awful scene where the zombies just fall over. They just fall over.
Like the last scene from Hitchhiker's Guide where they just all go in one blow.
Exactly, and then
it was like Sauron flinging his mace. There's
and then all of a sudden she wakes up and like, oh, what happened? And then they try to explain it away by saying, oh, the T virus didn't take all of your body. There was still some things left, and then okay, bye. But the best part,
it was like a Callisto promo.
Yeah, like but the best part is that, well, why didn't you tell me that I would survive? It's like, we needed to know if you would be willing to sacrifice your life for the planet. Why would you care if she was...
Oh, that was so trite. Oh, man.
Like, why would you care if she was willing to do it?
If she wasn't willing to do it, why the fuck would she believe the Red Queen to begin with? It's a movie.
It's like, look at
That was like a supreme middle finger, though. And they do the whole, like, sexy death, like, fall over, hit a pretty pose. You know, camera zooms out to reveal the carnage, and then back in, it's like, oh, and then there's the weird little tiny teardrop computer who just is like, we had to test you. It's like, no, you didn't. What was losing all my buddies and fucking fighting to the death?
Not good enough for you?
In the end,
was you gonna take the antidote and run off into the sunset, going tee?
So my question then becomes, is the Red Queen really a good guy or not?
It's a machine. I don't think there's really any good or bad, but I love how once they revealed that Alicia was still alive, it just became like they were just all buddy. They were just kind of, I guess technically the same person, but not really.
So it turned out that old version of her and the Red Queen and her were all the same person.
The same person, pretty much.
Or Trinity bitch, as he called
it.
The
Trinity of bitches.
Yeah, wouldn't it be a triumvirate? The triumvirate of bitches.
The triad.
The
order of the triad. I wish that would have made a much better movie. If they had Morpheus. Or Orpheus, yeah.
And here I was thinking 25 minutes ago that we ran out of things to say about this movie, but then the bullshit moment after bullshit moment just starts piling on top of each other. Very specific bullshit moments.
Yeah, like it really,
it
almost becomes a buddy cop movie at the end because of the fact that Alicia is still there. And then the AI is all like, I'm you, so therefore I'm siding with you now, even though I never have in any of the other previous movies, and I really have no reason to do so right now.
It's like, I could have told you about the antivirus maybe 5 movies ago. In fact, 6 movies ago. The last setting of the movie is the first movie again.
Yeah.
So it's Alice could have done this. I mean, not Alice, but rather the Red Queen could have informed them about this at the beginning of the movie.
Well, again, they don't say when that file was uploaded, but again, if Alicia was in stasis and for some reason we never knew about her existence until now, somehow, I don't know. Although I do admit, I hate the fact that it happened to Wesker, but the way that he ultimately died was kind of badass.
It was just like, oh, fuck you guys. I'm done.
Well, yeah, because she basically comes out of stasis and gives her speech to the bad guy, and then it goes, by the way, Wesker, you're fired. And then the II just fucking kills him.
The
Just
AI. The AI.
The AI.
The
Aye,
intelligence.
The intelligent intelligence.
Well, no, it wasn't really intelligent, just artificial.
Certain. This whole movie's artificial, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I think have we ran the well dry? I think
Yeah.
So, I know it's called the final chapter, but
no.
the ending kind of implies that there's more, and that happy look on Millipede's face
This is my
as
fun.
she's writing it.
Melon jalapeno.
She's like, "Oh yeah, there's gonna be more."
Say that again.
There's gotta be.
I don't think I can strike.
Oh
lightning
yeah,
twice
there's gonna
with
be
that.
more.
That was fantastic.
I think that was my evergreen voice.
But no, can you? These delicious little children. Have you seen her? In Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children?
I have not.
Oh, you should. Just for the look on her face as she,
As she eyeballs these children up and down.
here, Ava Green's acting.
Disturbing.
Like Ava Green's acting face is like she has like these gigantic, wet, sexy eyes, and like she probably didn't mean for it to happen, but
Just can't not.
she can have sexual tension with a houseplant, as I said, and the fact that that's how
That's a
she.
sexy houseplant.
Mm-hmm. But the fact that she's put in charge in front of all these children just means that she's doing this, having like this engaging, really intense eye contact with kids. So it's.
That is a little
Yeah.
disturbing. I know she's meant to be odd. Like, I know the basic story of Miss Peregrine,
Mm-hmm.
but
I mean, she is in charge of a house of peculiar children.
And she's a little peculiar herself.
I think we're just running around in circles at this point. Final thoughts. Final thoughts, Gabe, Amy.
if you have to see it, wait till it's out on DVD and get drunk. You will have a fun time. Otherwise, stay far away. Play RE7. Much better time.
Don't wait to the end of the credits unless you just want to hear the Red Queen say, "You're all gonna die down here again."
Because first movie.
Other than that, I wish Mila would do more other things.
Joan of Arc 2.
I mean,
Yes.
an alternate reality.
I would love her to be in a good movie.
Yeah.
No,
been
the
so
Messenger.
long.
It would be the Messenger 2.
Oh, that's what it was called. It was called The Messenger.
Yeah, the Messenger 2. Yeah.
I don't think I saw that one. But,
That's a made-up movie, Amy, that we made. There. As of yet, there is no Messenger 2.
yeah.
My final thought is just simple. This movie is too annoying for it to be a wholesale fun bad movie, and it's too aggravating to be for like the good bad film aficionado. But if you have a pretty high tolerance for annoying filmmaking, then I suppose.
And if you really, really, really like Million Javelin or whatever her name is.
Millennium Valkovich or
Melba Valkyrie.
Melon Jevons, I don't know, but the
melanoma. I can't. I'm running out.
I don't remember what next week is, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be another stinker because January. But the week after that one, we're gonna have a 3.
Oh.
Oh God.
I mean, you're welcome to bow out if you want, but it'll be so disappointing.
I don't want to let you suffer in silence. I can't in good faith let you do that.
Well, 2 of the movies are.
But I am
be...
going to bring a flask.
That's to share a flask, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
because, no, we can't get through this one, guys. No. It's going to be bad.
Bye.